I am pumped because today we're taking a look at rugby positions. I've said here on this channel before that I am a coach. I played basketball, but I also coached basketball, and I just love the X's and O's and all of that. But before I can even get to the X's and O's, I need to know what the hell position is what position. so, so today we're going to take a look at rugby positions explained in 10 minutes. And this is by Connor Does Rugby. Link down below so you can head on over and support Connor's channel. I'm sure he would appreciate that. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Before we get going here, go ahead and like the video. That does help a lot. Let's see what we can see.
Rugby positions in 10 minutes. Ready? Go. In rugby, the player numbers actually tell you what position each player is in. There are 15 players on a rugby pitch at any point and 8 on the bench. The starting 15 will always wear the numbers 1 to 15 and the bench 16 to 23.
Okay, so I did know that the positions were, the numbers on their jersey were based on the position they were playing. I did know that because someone told me in the comments. But it seems like the people on the bench are 16. They start at 16. So I guess those numbers don't correspond to their position anymore. I don't know. Maybe he's going to say that. Let's back up a little bit.
15 will always wear the numbers 1 to 15 and the bench 16 to 23. There are two groups of players in a rugby team, the forwards and the backs. In the starting lineup, the forwards will be numbered 1 to 8 and the backs numbered 9 to 15. The forwards are the big strong guys who are in the scrum and do stuff like this, while the backs are quick flashy guys who will run rings around you and do stuff like this. Let's start with the forwards. Numbers 1, 2 and 3 consist of the 3 players who make up the front row of the scrum and are referred to collectively as the front row, quite imaginatively. The props are responsible for binding with the opposition team at scrum time and wear the numbers 1 and 3. The number 1 is the loose head prop and the number 3 is the tight head prop. They're given these names to signify where their head goes in the scrum. The loose head's head goes on the outside of the scrum, and thus is loose, and the tight head's head goes on the inside of the scrum, and thus is tight. You can see here that the prop's head is outside of the scrum, that is the loose head, and the other player whose head is inside of the scrum is the tight head of the other team. And don't worry, the word head will start to feel like a word again soon. The props also tend to be players lifting in lineouts due to their strength and to there generally being other taller players around them. The other player in the front row is the hooker. Yes, I know.
The hooker. Okay, not the hooker. He said the hooker.
Very funny. And they wear the number 2 jersey. Their job is to win the ball after it has been...
Wait. Oh, okay. So the 1 and the 3 were the tight head and the loose head, and then the hooker is in the middle.
Rolled into the scrum. They get the name hooker as they are meant to hook the ball back with their foot. They're also normally the player responsible for throwing the ball in at a line out. The second row of the scrum is made up of the locks, who are the number...
Okay. Calm down. Slow down, buddy. Okay. So they talked about the side out too. Somebody told me about that. So the person who's in the middle of the front row of the scrum is the hooker, or the number 2. And then they are also usually the person who throws in the ball on the side out. Okay, that's good to know. That's good to know. In basketball terms, well, I mean, I guess it depends on your offensive system or what you're doing. But I mean, like if you're under the basket, then a certain player throws in the ball. It depends on your system, things like that. So this is good to know what the positions are. Oh, and you can see right there. Okay, so you got the hooker in the middle. That's cool. This makes sense because before I was like, I don't know what the hell's happening. It just seems like a bunch of people just pushing on each other, but this is good. Okay.
4 and 5. Their main job is to bind behind the front row and put their head between the props and hooker's thigh.
Wait, hold on. Where? Oh, okay, in the middle right there. 4 and 5. Okay. Let's hear what he said one more time.
In at a line out. The second row of the scrum is made up of the locks, who are the numbers 4 and 5. Their main job is to bind behind the front row and put their head between the props and hooker's thighs. They are the main source of power in the scrum and are generally tall and powerful players, and often the main jumpers at lineouts too. They are crucial at lineout time, as due to them usually being tall players, they're normally one of the lifted players at the lineout, and often means they are tasked with running.
Wait, hold on. I want to see what happened on this
They're
play.
normally...
Oh, okay. So somebody throws it into Oh, what do you call those 4 and 5? Damn it. Hold on. I just want to understand this, so let me go
back with their foot.
Sorry.
They're also normally the player responsible for throwing the ball in at a line out. The second row of the scrum is made up of the locks, who are the numbers 4 and 5.
Oh, okay. They're the locks. Okay. Okay, that makes logical sense to me because it seems like they're like locking themselves behind the legs of the people in front of
Their
them.
main job is to bind behind the front row and put their head between the props and hookers' thighs. They're the main source of power in the scrum and are generally tall and powerful players, and often the main jumpers at lineouts too. They are crucial at lineout time, as due to them usually being tall players, they're normally one of the lifted players at the lineout, and often means they are tasked with running the lineouts by making the calls for where the ball should go. The second row and front row are in a small group called the tight 5 and are generally collectively responsible for most of the power in the scrum and mauls, and also clearing out opposition and players in the ruck. In attack, due to their lesser mobility, they are often used in a play known as crash ball, where they run straight into the defensive line and try to make small gain in meters and suck the opposition defense in to make space out wide for the smaller, faster players. The tight 5 are very important for a rugby team. Generally, if you don't have a strong tight 5, you will be demolished by an opposition scrum and find it very hard to get any front football. The back row, or the loose forwards, make up the last row of the scrum and consist of 2 flankers and the number 8. Yes, I know it's a whole position
6, 7, and 8. Okay.
called number 8, which makes sense with the starters as they wear the number 8 shirt, but if they get substituted, all that logic goes out the window, and all of a sudden you're calling a guy with the number 19 on their back the number 8. But anyway, the number 8 binds at the back of the scrum and puts his head between the 2 second rows. They are responsible for controlling the ball at the back of the scrum with their feet, and will also often pick it up from the back of the scrum and bring the ball into open play. This player will generally be known for their physicality and an ability to brush off tackles and make meters after contact. The other 2 positions in the back row are the 2 flankers, which take up the numbers 6 and 7. Again here, the numbers are important as it defines what side of the scrum the flanker will attach to. In most cases, the number 6 is referred to as the blind side and will be on the side of the scrum that is closest to the touchline, while the number 7 will be referred to as the open side and will be on the side of the scrum that is furthest from the touchline. The 6 is traditionally a big tackle first.
Okay, that makes sense, close and open. Because if you're closer to the sideline, then obviously that's the out of play. So that's essentially another, in basketball, we would say it's another defender, because, you know, it's not physical, but it is a barrier there. So you can kind of use that as an extra defender. So that's why it's closed, but on the other side's open because there's more room to take off on the outside or something.
Ask questions later type player, as the player traditionally can get away with more as they're normally on the opposite side of the scrum as the referee, and the open side is often much faster and a massive threat at turning over the ball just after the tackle. However, in modern rugby, the 6 is generally a free-for-all position and tells you a lot about what the coach wants from the team. Teams that put a lot of emphasis into a big pack, the forwards, might play another second row there, whereas a team that focuses on back play might go for someone smaller and is more akin to another open side. Their job at the scrum is to be the
So I might go for something smaller because it's almost like having another back, I think, right? It sounds like it was someone smaller, so you get an extra back per se, maybe.
first forwards out to tackle the scrum half, who we'll come to in a minute, or the number 8, who should have the ball at this point. They also play an important role in general defence, as these players are often tasked with trying to turn over the ball from the tackled opposition players. Overall, the loose forwards are more mobile and quicker than the tight 5, and can often be found out wide in attack. So that was the forwards, let's move on to the backs. The scrum half is the first of the 2 halfbacks. These positions provide the link between the forwards and the backs. The scrum half wears a number 9 and is responsible for feeding the ball at the scrum, picking the ball up at the back of scrums and rucks, and receiving the ball from the forwards at lineouts. They are very
Oh, so it almost sounds like they're... I keep relating it to basketball because that's what I know and played, but it sounds like the number 9 is like the point guard who is responsible for initiating the offense. That's kind of what it sounds like.
At the back of scrums and rucks, and receiving the ball from the forwards at lineouts. They are very important to the tactics of most teams, as a scrum half can generally dictate the pace of the game. They also have a unique kicking role known as a box kick, which is where they kick the ball from the back of the ruck. This is commonly used to exit when under pressure, as it allows to keep most of your team onside, making it easier to perform an effective chase. Due to the need to pass the ball backwards, scrum halves are often in front of play after they pass the ball out of the base of the scrum or ruck. This can often lead to them being unmarked, and if a break happens, many scrum halves find themselves in a great position to support the breaking player and end up scoring a try. They also have a defensive job at scrums and lineouts, as they are normally tasked with putting off the opposition scrum half at scrums and can be
so you can go, I don't know why I thought this in my head, but I thought that you couldn't go on the other side of the line, you know, where the two teams are meeting. I thought you couldn't go on the other side, but it sounds like the scrum half, I think that's what they call it, can go on the other side, and then it's up to the other team's scrum half to like prevent them from getting the ball, blocking them out, as we would say in basketball. That's it. So maybe blocking them out. I don't know. Let's see that again.
And lineouts, as they are normally
the guy on the black team. Is that the All Blacks? No, I don't think so. But he is on the other side of the line. It's probably not a line, obviously, because he's doing it right in front of the ref. So the ref's probably like, it's okay, go ahead. All right.
Tasked with putting off the opposition scrum half at scrums and can be responsible for cutting off a passing or running channel. You may also see them floating around this area of the pitch. In defense, they are often given the task to cover the space behind the defensive line to stop opposition chips. The fly half, who wears the number 10 shirt, is the second of the two halves.
Oh, okay. If you don't know about basketball, then maybe this might be helpful. I don't know. Anyway, but that's what he said, was that they're kind of responsible for stopping like the fast break. Like that's how in basketball, the point guard is usually, you know, they might take a shot at the top of the key and they're usually like the first line of defense to try and stop the fast break. So that's kind of what he was saying with this guy right here. So let's see.
Line to stop opposition chips. The fly half, who wears the number 10 shirt, is the second of the two halfbacks and is probably the most important player on the pitch. Many teams are defined by their number 10. Teams often take the personality of their fly half. Finn Russell, for example, is known for being a maverick player and playing a bit fast and loose and off-the-cuff rugby. And teams he has played for over the years, like Racing 92 and Scotland, have become known for their fast, attractive style of play with him at the helm. Whereas someone like Andre Pollard is a much more tactical and percentage-driven 10 who will play less risky rugby, with his teams like Leicester and South Africa being known for heavy forward dominance and a world-class kicking game. They will
So I think in football, is it the striker? Is the one who's like the most important, usually the number 9, I think. Is that right? He's usually, well, I think he's the most important player when it comes to offense, I believe. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what I think.
And South Africa being known for heavy forward dominance and a world-class kicking game. They will normally be the player who receives the ball from the scrum half and are generally in control of the team's attack. Due to this, they're normally the main decision maker on the pitch and will decide whether...
So it's not the 9 like I thought. Okay.
Due to this, they're normally the main decision maker on the pitch and will decide whether the next attacking play will go out wide through the backs or be tighter and go through the forwards in that crash ball play I mentioned earlier. Making the right call at the right time is crucial for a fly half success. So they need to have great vision and good passing and kicking skills to be able to take advantage of weaknesses within the opposition defense. Fly halves are also often the designated kicker of the team, whether that be from hand, drop kicks, or off the tee for penalties and conversions. You will likely see the fly half partaking in this role. They are perhaps...
So the fly half sounds like, I mean, I don't know if they have like a captain. I would imagine they do, but it sounds like the fly half, the 10, is like the leader of the team. And so how, I guess he looks like he's comparing it to football. I don't know. I like football, American football, but I would say it's like my, out of the 3 major sports in the U.S., it's my least favorite. I like baseball, basketball, and then football. So I don't know too much about that. But anyway, let's hear what he has to say about
or off the tee.
Mr. Tom Brady. I do know who he is.
For penalties and conversions, you will likely see the fly half partaking in this role. They are perhaps the closest thing to a quarterback that exists in rugby. The next two roles are the two centres, who are the number 12 and 13. The number 12 is the inside centre and the number 13 is the outside centre. The inside centre is often the player closest to the fly half and will often receive the ball from them. They are often bigger and stronger than the 10 or 13 and are used to run into contact if a forward is not available, like off the back of a scrum or maul. But it can also be common to find a player more like a fly half to act as another creator on the pitch. Can often be found on the opposite side of a scrum or ruck as another option.
Wait, let's go back to this guy. Why is he pointing at him?
The creator on the pitch can often be found on the opposite side of a scrum or
on the opposite side of the scrum
ruck as another option for the scrum half to pass to. They will also
dang, I like that play.
On the opposite side of a scrum or ruck as another
initial passer
option.
Okay, it's like a little give and go. Like he passed it to him, and then let's see, did he give it back to him? Yeah. Oh yeah, he gave it back to him. Oh man, I love this kind of crap. But like, okay, there's a defender right there. Ah, shoot! I wanted him to keep going. I just saw this defender down here, but now he has to decide between those two. I don't know. Okay, anyway, keep going.
They will also sometimes play that receiver role from the scrum half after a ruck or scrum to allow the fly half to play further out wide with more space. In this role, they tend to have good kicking and handling game, and many inside centres can also play as a fly half if needed. The best 12s in the world have strong attributes that boot them in both camps. The outside centre
okay, sorry, we're on the 12s. Okay.
Will stand outside the inside centre, thus the name, and will often receive the ball from the 12. They are normally quicker and more athletic than their centre counterpart and are used to take advantage of space in the middle of the pitch. Outside centres can often play on the wing and vice versa if needed, as they share very similar physical attributes. The centres work best as a partnership, and watching rugby, you may hear the phrase centre pairing talked about a lot. Two centres who don't work well together can be disastrous for a team, as the centre channel can be a target for attacking play. If your centres aren't working together, they will be ripped to shreds in defense and be ineffective in attack. In defense, they are often the first backs to make tackles. In fact, defensive attributes are so important that some teams may opt to go against type at 13 for a more defensively solid player. Like when Chris Harris, who was said by many to be one of the best defensive centres in the world, was favoured over the more flamboyant Hugh Jones for Scotland for a few years. The wingers, who are the numbers 11 on the left wing and number 14 on the right wing, are two positions in what is
I do know 14. My man, what's his name? Kobe from the South African team, Springboks.
The wingers, who are the numbers 11 on the left wing and number 14 on the right wing, are two positions in what is called the back three. Their main role is to finish moves and score tries. Wingers are normally the fastest players in the team, but range a lot in size. Smaller wingers like Cheslin Colby and Darcy
there he goes.
Graham are praised for their quick feet with an ability to run around players and make their way through crowded areas, while also packing a lot of power in a small package.
So I guess in American football, they'd be like the running back. The tailback, they would call it.
And make their way through crowded areas, while also packing a lot of power in a small package. While other wingers like Duhan van der Merwe are praised for their sheer size and power, which helps them run over players to score tries. Generally, the skill set required for either wing is the same, but often players will play on the same side as their strong hand or foot to make it easier for them to pass inside or step opponents.
Make it easier to pass inside. Okay. Because if he's running down the right side like he was doing, then I guess the strong hand would be his right hand to pass back inside. Okay, yeah.
Same side as their strong hand or foot to make it easier for them to pass inside or step opponents. The fullback is a somewhat unique role in rugby, who wears a number 15 shirt and are the last of the back three. Their main job is to marshal the backfield, which basically means they're the furthest back player on the pitch in defense, and have the job of covering any deep attacking kicks from the opposition, and are often the last line of defense for any line breaks.
Okay. And so in comparison to American football, they'd be like the safety or something on defense. Sounds like.
keep attacking kicks from the opposition and are often the last line of defense for any line breaks. But they are also often an important role in attack and can often act as a second playmaker along with the number 10. It is even quite normal for 10s and 15s to be able to play both positions.
What the hell?
Like Bowden Barrett for the All Blacks and Thomas Ramos for France and Toulouse. There's generally two types of fullback. A big, tall, athletic player who's normally defensively strong, has a big boot and can make meters running the ball back into contact. Or a smaller player with fast feet who will try and weave in and out of rushing defenses. It's important for a fullback to be good under the high ball and have a strong kicking game for kick returns. If you like that, you'll also enjoy this video right here.
Oh, boo, it's over. I thought that was really good. Dang, there's a lot of information. I could probably watch that several times in order to fully understand it. Now I'm on the hunt for some X's and O's and coaches thinking and how plays work and all that. And I know people will say that I need to watch some games, and I do plan to do that. But you know, that's another thing I got to look up. I got to figure out where do I even watch games. That was a great video. Hopefully you liked it. If you did and you want to see more like it, then subscribe to the channel, man. It's easy and it's free. My name is Greg. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.